During my master's studies, I had this amazing friend. We did everything together from assignments down to projects and all of that. You know, those normal university stuffs. So there was a time she went on a short vacation. And when she came back and resumed studies, we were just catching up. As a normal Niger guy, then I was like, she's looking fresh and all glowing. Then I mentioned something. I said, your cheeks have actually like increased, that she actually had a good time during the vacation. To my greatest surprise, she got angry. Immediately she attacked and was like, why would I say that she had a chubby cheeks? That, do I mean to call her fat? That is body shaming. I was surprised. I was surprised because as a normal Niger guy, I mean, if you're giving compliments to someone you've seen for a while, you'll be like, how far now? See as your cheeks, they shine. You know, those kind of stuff that you're living well. But to my greatest surprise, she actually like got mad at me that I was body shaming her, that she actually had a chubby cheek. So I started to apologize. I think I apologized for like 2 days before. I think I apologized for like 2 days because it was a very funny situation that I started explaining to her that where I come from, when we say someone actually has like a chubby cheeks or someone is shining, it means that we are trying to give the person a compliment that they look good. But I realized I was actually ruining the whole situation. So this brings me to today's video, where I want to share with you guys 5 culture shocks that I've experienced over time that has really like got me really surprised, because from where I come from, it's a different ball game entirely. So stick with me, let me share with you this amazing 5 surprises. Hi guys, Kingsley Corey here. So before I continue with my story in this video about my culture shocks, if you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button, like my videos, and also share with your family and friends. If you have any issues about travel abroad for either work or studies that is giving you a headache, or you would like to share, you can leave it in the comment section and I will do my best to answer to the best of my knowledge. So, in summary of my story, which brings me to the number 1 culture shock, is that you don't give people compliments based on their physique or body attributes. This is because they may look good to you, but they themselves may not feel confident or feel comfortable in their own body. So when you give them a compliment regarding their body or physique, it may come out offensive and they may not like it. So never compliment people based on their body physique or attributes, especially when they are maybe overweight or something similar. The second culture shock that I'll be sharing with you guys will be about the transportation system. In Nigeria, the public transport is always like a social event. It's either someone is selling to you, or someone is preaching to you, or someone is over the call, or they are arguing with the driver or the conductor. It's always very chaotic. But it's not that something is wrong, it's just a lifestyle. I could remember back then in Lagos, Oshodi, when they introduced the BRT bus terminal. When I go to buy the ticket, we buy the ticket either from Oshodi to Island or wherever, but we don't know when the bus will arrive. And this has always led to situations where you bought a ticket and you're waiting for maybe 30 minutes or hours for when the bus will arrive. And the only ones we can ask is the ticket sellers there or the staffs that on the bus in ball, when the bus they come, you know, those kind of stuff. But here I realized that everything is scheduled, everything is on time. You either miss your bus or you are on time, and you can see that in real time. When I was in Nigeria and I was speaking with a friend of mine here, and she was like, she wanted to go and surprise a friend, but she has missed a bus. I was like, you missed your bus? How do you mean you missed your bus? You can just come out and enter any bus going to anywhere. That's my idea, or that was my own knowledge. I was thinking it's like the usual downfall style where you just come out and enter any bus. So I told her, how do you mean you missed your bus? Just come outside and take any bus. And she was like, you will not understand. That you will not understand, I never understood until I arrived and I realized buses are scheduled. So if a bus is for 1 a.m. and you arrived at 1:05, you've missed that bus and you have to wait for the next bus, probably in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And the bus are always on time or a minute or two late. Another thing about the bus is also that in the bus it is extra quiet. Back in Nigeria, when I take the buses, especially the Danfo or the Mo US, you see those that will come to you to sell to you different types of medicines, and those that will come to you to sell books or motivational speakers or pastors in the bus. You can never have like a quiet time or a time of meditation in a Nigerian bus. You know what I'm talking about. But here in the bus, it is absolute silence. Not that it's a rule, but everyone on the bus is always quiet. There was a time I was actually making a call in the bus and I was actually speaking with a friend. I was like speaking not really loud, but it was obvious that I was on call in the bus. And due to the awkward silence in the bus, everyone started looking at me. Nobody tell me. Let me tell my guys, Alpha, I'll go call you back. It's not like it's a rule. It's just like everyone is quiet in the bus. Either they are with their headphones and listening to music, or they are on their phones. No one is saying hi to anyone and no one is saying hello to anyone. It is just absolute silence. The very first day I arrived, the first culture shock I got was public display of affection, PDA. I was so shocked because this is not a normal thing for me. When I arrived in my room and I was still trying to figure out what and where to place my stuffs, I opened the window and I was trying to let ventilation into the room because it was so stuffy and messy. Then I looked outside of the window and I saw two lovebirds kissing and hugging each other passionately. One was with a travel bag, which automatically means that he was actually traveling, and the other one was probably wishing him goodbye. So they were hugging passionately and kissing. I was like, why are these people hugging and kissing outside? Let them just do it inside. It felt like really gross to me. I was really surprised because I was not used to that kind of stuff. Which brings me to the third culture shock of public display of affection. In Nigeria, you dare not stand in public places or on the road and say you can hug for sure, and for kissing, it's either a quick kiss, but not standing in public places and giving a very romantic wet kiss. Because either you see people that would shout at you guys or tell you guys to get a room. Here, it is normal. It is like nobody cares. Nobody would even say Jack at you guys. No one is even looking at you guys. You walk around the park and you see two lovers just sitting on the chair and holding each other passionately and giving each other very nice kiss. Nobody cares. So people publicly display their affection to their lover without giving a damn or a cent about what people around say, and people around as well don't even care about what is going on around them, who is kissing who or who is fucking with who. So I had to embrace that reality, and at some point I also got used to it. The next culture shock that I'm going to be sharing with you is about jewelries and appearance. As a typical Nigerian, your dressing is not complete if you don't have a neck chain, a ring, a bling bling basically. Like, how do you want to go out if you're not dripping? Especially on Saturdays or Sundays, either to Owambes or to church. How do you want to tell people that you're comfortable if you're not dripping in terms of jewelries? This is like a lifestyle, and this is a way of showing people that you're either comfortable or that you can actually afford some kind of stuff. I mean, when you talk about most celebrities and influential people in Nigeria, they either have like eyes chain, eyes ring, even down to the teeth. It's like jewelry everywhere. Basically, they clothe in jewel. One thing that I discovered that is very surprising to me is that they don't do jewelries. So there was a time I went to an event with a neck chain. It was long, so I didn't put it inside. I brought it outside. So it was dangling around my chest, and I felt it was comfortable. It was a nice thing to do. Because when I arrived at the event, I was the only one looking different. Everyone was looking at me in a kind of way that I do not understand. Then I asked my friend, what's up? Why is everyone looking at me like that? And he told me that it's not a normal thing for people to wear necklaces outside. Like, it's a kind of message that you're either proud or that you're arrogant, something like that. It doesn't show sign of modesty. I was surprised. I was like, where I come from, it's a part of life. And he laughed and told me that no, it's not the same here. I had to not only put the chain in, I actually stopped wearing it. And up to today, I also became a non-jewelry person, but unconsciously though. Like, the next culture shock that I want to share with you, this was also one of the first culture shock. No, I think this was the second culture shock that I experienced when I arrived. It was like the freshest night, so I decided to go to club that night. Not me alone, but with other students in the dormitory. So we went to the club. I was thinking it was going to be like the Niger club setting where we have Emiwaya and Pablo Benefit buying bottles and popping champagne, you know, those kind of stuffs now. But to my greatest surprise, what I saw was people with their drinks in hand and on the dance floor dancing all night. Like, even if you don't buy a drink, nobody will notice that you've been here without buying a bottle, because everyone was literally dancing and not minding how many bottles the other person bought or who did not buy bottle at all. There was nothing like oppression, there was nothing like competition, there was nothing like those people are doing bang bang with 3 bottles, this other side is doing bang bang with 5 bottles. You know what I mean? The typical competition stuff that lead people to a lot of unethical stuff. You understand what I mean? It was absolute different. Like, everyone was on their lane, everyone was on their pace, everyone was on their space and just dancing. I came to realize that this is actually what we mean by when we want to go out to have fun. Like, you're not going to impress anyone or to get noticed. You're going to have a couple of drinks, dance, and just vibe. So this is like the fourth culture shock that I experienced. The nightlife is totally different compared to what we have in Nigeria. And my brothers in Nigeria, we can do better. I beg, let us lower the volume of oppression so that we won't push people to do what is not supposed to be done. Nigeria alone is facing a lot of stuff. The last culture shock that I want to mention, I don't know if it's the 5th or the 6th one because I think I've lost count already, is about smoking. Like, bro, literally everyone in this country smokes. And I mean cigarettes. To be fair, the weather here is very cold, so a lot of people try to use it as a way to stay warm, but the smoking culture is so deep that even in corporate organizations, there's what we call smoke break. Like, you can be working and then you go for like 5 minutes break every 1 hour. Nobody cares for a smoke break. Like, you can be working right now and just you don't even need to tell your manager or anything. You just go for a smoke break and come back to work. This was like a huge shock to me, like, because I know in Nigeria, like, either you are smoking shisha or you are smoking SK or Kana, you understand? Most young people in Nigeria don't smoke cigarettes. They go for other stuff. It's kind of rare for me to picture a young Niger guy smoking, because it's not the everyday kind of thing you see compared to shisha and other stuff. But here it's like, it's a lifestyle. Like, people can smoke a pack in 2 days and there's no problem with it. I was so surprised that sometimes even if you don't smoke, you feel like the odd one out. The weather is quite different. It's very cold, so people tend to use it to warm up and feel better. But the usage is very high that you as a non-smoker feel like you are the odd one out when people are smoking. It doesn't mean that you're a terrible person or they see you less in the society. It's just one of those things that everyone has their own preferences. You understand what I mean? So these are like the top 5 culture shocks that I personally have experienced. I know you've actually seen a lot of videos about people and their experiences when it comes to culture shocks. Trust me, there are lots of culture shocks that you as an individual will experience based on what you know before and what you come to realize. So it's a whole process of learning and unlearning. And the reason why I'm making this video is that if you are someone that is planning to leave where you are at some point to another destination, you should be aware that they have their culture and tradition there. Keep an open mind that you may be seeing some things that you are not used to from where you are coming from. Remember my story in the beginning of the video? It was a real life story, and up till today I can never forget that situation. So If you're planning to travel abroad, keep in mind that you have to experience some things and you need to learn and unlearn some stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button, like my videos, and also share 1 or 2 culture shocks that you have experienced. Maybe you're outside or you probably paid a visit to somewhere that have different culture to what you already know. Drop into the comment section and let's have fun talking about cultures and differences. I remain Kingsley Okore and I'll see you in my next video.